Hello people, welcome back to my show. My name is Danny Graham. This is Comic Chats. Before we get started on today's topic, I want to ask you to do three things for me. First thing I want to ask you to do is please subscribe to my channel. I need your support. Second thing I want to ask you to do, please give me a thumbs up, positive feedback. Third and last thing I want you to do before we get started on today's show is hit that notification bell because I don't want you to miss any material that I upload in the future. Now today, I'm going to talk about the third episode of The Mandalorian. It did not disappoint. This is a full spoiler. Full spoiler. F-U-L-L, full spoiler. If you don't want to know about The Mandalorian Episode 3, you haven't watched it yet, do not watch this show. I'm going to tell you everything from start to finish. Full spoiler. I love this series. Disney Plus, thank you for bringing it to me. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, you're knocking it out the park. Today's episode is going to pick up from the second episode where the Mandalorian went to that planet, fought the Mudhorn, and was able to retrieve that egg for the people that had stripped this ship, the creatures that stripped this ship down to the bare bones. He was able to get his materials back from the ship. Him, along with the help of the Nick Nolte character, I have spoken, were able to rebuild his ship, repair his ship, and now he's going back to the Gill planet to turn in the baby to the Imperial officer and that doctor. He does so, but now Mandalorian, or I'm going to call this the hybrid Mandalorian, he has a conscience. A true Mandalorian, I don't know whether they have conscience or not, but this Mandalorian has a conscience. And he does not feel comfortable turning that baby back in, but he does it anyway. He turns the baby back in, he gets his chip, he gets his metal, he gets a whole bucket full of the metal. He takes it back to the Mandalorian blacksmith, and before she starts to make an armor for him and another Mandalorian, they get into a little bit of a scuffle because the Mandalorian feels like he's not being loyal to their clan and that he's sitting down with the Empire, and the Empire is the one that ultimately destroyed Mandalore and got the Mandalorians at a disadvantage now because they killed a lot of their people. But for whatever reason, they were able to reconcile their differences. The woman, she took a lot of the metal. She kept asking him about his insignia, and he told her, and she asked him how he was able to get his quarry. He said he defeated a Mudhorn, which is that rhinoceros type animal, and he said, but he wasn't able to defeat it by himself. He defeated with his enemy, which he was referring to Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda really isn't his enemy. For whatever reason, he has an affection and has grown to care for Baby Yoda. So she said, well, I won't give you an insignia, but I'll give you these things called, I think she called them singing birds, if I remember correctly. And that's Jon Favreau. That's a knock, a little wink to Iron Man, because those little things that she gave him, the singing birds, fit into his gauntlet, one of his gauntlets. They look very similar to the shoulder gauntlet missiles that Iron Man used in the first Iron Man. So I think Jon Favreau has something to do with that. I've never seen those kind of weapons used on any other Star Wars, Rebels. I haven't seen on Rebels. I haven't seen on Clone Wars. I didn't see it during the time when they talked about the Mandalorians on the Clone Wars. So I want to thank Jon Favreau. Probably did a little wink, say I'm gonna Easter egg, if you will, put in this little gadgets. I think it was a nod at Iron Man, because those shoulder missiles that Iron Man, when he went back to that country and destroyed his that took his missiles and was holding those people hostage, looked very similar, and it was a similar scene. It was four guys had him surrounded, just like the four guys that had the hostages in Iron Man, and he was able to analyze quickly where they were at, and then he activated his shoulder missiles and took all of them out. Similar situation, the four stormtroopers had the Mandalorian surrounded. He put the baby down and his gun down, and we could see him activate those singing birds, they call them. And when he pushed the button, they all went like smart missiles and killed all four of the stormtroopers. So I think that was Jon Favreau's idea to do that. Continuing on with the story, basically, Mandalorian was on his way back to the ship with the baby. He done taken out. I don't know where all these stormtroopers come from, because on the second episode, all I saw was four, a total of four. Now they were coming out the woodwork left and right. He had to kill at least a dozen, if not more, stormtroopers. Very proficient with his techniques his military techniques, background, whatever training he has, he is highly proficient. And so as he's going back to the ship, every bounty hunter at the guild, well, I won't back it up some. He went back to the bar after he was able to get his armor repaired. The blacksmith melted all the armor, and he was totally decked out in his new armor. Chest plates, leg plates, shoulder, everything. And so he went back to the bar to get another bounty to Carl Weathers' character, and Carl Weathers was just bragging on him that you did what nobody else could do. You did this, and he made a point that made it say it real loud so everybody could hear. It kind of pissed them off, and they were kind of mad and salty at the Mandalorian because they were jealous that he was able to do what they couldn't do. The Mandalorian asked for another job. He gave him some kind of they call it a hollow puck, I think it is, and it shows the image of the person who has a bond on it, and it looked kind of like a character I've seen before. His name is escaping me, but it's a character we already seen on Star Wars, but it was this character's son. I can't think of his name. It'll come to me. But anyway, it was, I think, on a water world far off, and he said the further the better. So he took the hollow puck from the Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rockies, and he said, "What are they gonna do with the child?" And Apollo Creed's character said, I don't know. I don't ask. That's not the part of the way." He said, "But if you want to know, then you go ask." So he was on the way back to the ship, and he was about to take off, and then his conscience got the best of him because the little baby Yoda always liked to play with one of the knobs on one of his controllers on the ship. And so he cut the ship back off. He went back. He reconned the Imperial office where he first got the bounty to go get Baby Yoda, and was able to determine using his, I guess, super hearing aid in his helmet, and also his gun that can see thermal. He can see the heat signatures from the Imperial officer and the doctor. They were talking about the Imperial officer wanted to kill it and extract some kind of DNA, I guess, and the doctor was trying to save it. So once he got that, and then he also found the baby's cradle in the trash, he went into action. Like I said, he killed all the guards, was able to get the baby. They showed the old Empire android. You remember whenever Darth Vader first got Princess Leia back in the Empire Strikes Back, it had that black floating android with the black needle coming out. They had one of those in there again, so I think it was another Easter egg. So he's able to, he shot that, destroyed that android, took the baby, got out, went back to the ship. We're going to fast forward back to where, as he's going to his ship, every little control module or tracker started going off in the bar and all over the planet. And somebody had put a bounty on the Mandalorian's head. So as he was walking down the street, Carl Weathers confronted him and said, "Look, put the baby down. We'll talk about it. This is not the way. You betrayed the code, yada, yada, yada." So he acted like he's going to put the baby on a speeder, and then he swings to action and starts shooting people, killing people. Then they all start shooting back at him, and he's getting the better of them at first, but then the numbers is just overwhelming, and they get him. And then there's one point where he used those shells. I don't know what kind of gun he got, but when he used those shells and he shoots you, it totally disintegrates you. So he disintegrated about 4 or 5, and they still got the upper hand. And as he was about to give up or just, I guess, do a custard slash stand, the rest of the Mandalorians came in on their jetpacks, probably about a half a dozen, maybe a dozen of them, and they were shooting and killing people. And they told him to go get to the ship. When they came, they were able to even the odds and get the upper hand. And as he's going to the ship, the Carl Weathers character is already on the ship and said, "Look, you broke the code. I don't want to come to this. Why'd you do this?" So Mandalorian looked like he's kind of lowering his gun, but he's creating a diversion. When he does, he shoots Apollo Creed character Carl Weathers, and you think he's dead, but earlier in the show, Carl Weathers had the same kind of metal that he used for his armor, but he had like 3 or 4 plates of it right there over his heart and his chest, and the Mandalorian shot that, thinking it was a kill shot, but actually the same metal he used for his armor is what saved the Carl Weathers character. So he takes off, and he was saying something, and basically the little baby, he puts the baby back down in the ship, and then we see little baby hands come up reaching for that knob on his controller, and he unscrews it and gives it to the baby, and that's how the episode ends. So now we see that the Mandalorian, or I'm going to call him the hybrid Mandalorian, has a conscience. Also doing this when he was making his armor, it was flashbacks again like it was the first time he made a piece of his armor of his parents being trying to run and get him somewhere safe, being attacked by someone. I think the Separatists, the Empire's army, those droids and stuff. Because we saw one of those big droids that looked muscular up top and has the one cannon on the arm, was about to shoot him, and somebody shot that. So I think that's why he has a dislike and disdain for droids, because of that. Because the droids were the one that came in and killed his parents, or at least in his mind, that's what he believes. Again, the third episode did not disappoint. I love this show. I can't wait till next Friday. I get up at 5 o'clock this morning and watch it, just so I could give it to y'all today. But please watch The Mandalorian Episode 3. I just did a breakdown for you, and it is awesome. So go watch it, enjoy it. Watch it 2 or 3 times. I'm probably gonna watch it two or three more times a day, and just absorb it. It's good. Way to go, Jon Favreau. Way to go, Dave Filoni. You're doing an excellent job. Keep it up. I'll catch you next time. This is Comic Chat. Danny Graham. Peace.